Vietnam, a beautiful country filled with jaw-dropping landscapes, a rich history, and a variety of environments for every type of traveler out there. For us, Vietnam had always been a dream destination, and it's one that we're happy to report delivered on our expectations.
Over the next 3 episodes, we will take you with us through the vibrant streets of Ho Chi Minh City, the unique French-inspired tourist destination of Hoi An, a mouth-watering cooking class in Hanoi, and an epic 4-day journey riding on motorcycles through northern Vietnam's famous Ha Giang Loop. And everything in between. Hey foodies and travelers, I'm Tatiana.
And I'm Isaac. In 2022, we put our lives and careers on hold to venture into the unknown and fulfill our dream of traveling the world.
So join us on this journey in search of fun, food, some amazing new friendships,
And anything else this beautiful planet can show us as we attempt to inquire, inspire, and ignite the question,
what will you travel for? Hey foodies and travelers, we're in a new country, we're in Vietnam.
We're super excited to be in Vietnam. This is actually really high up on our bucket list of places that we wanted to come to. Being foodies ourselves, Vietnam is well known for its food, and one of those dishes happens to be the beautiful, the delicious, the succulent banh mi sandwich. And we are at a place that comes highly regarded, both by locals as well as foreigners, and it is the Bánh Mì Huynh Hoa. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. My Vietnam viewers, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's supposed to be the most famous banh mi in all of Saigon, aka Ho Chi Minh City.
Yes, which is actually where the banh mi started.
That's what they say.
Yes. So we're literally, like we got dropped off on the side of the road. There's a humongous line here that we're waiting in, which is always a good sign. Super excited. And yeah, let's check it out. Okay, thank you. We got our first meal in Vietnam. The order process happened extremely fast. I couldn't even order a drink. I don't even know if they give drinks.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You think Chipotle line gives you anxiety?
Listen.
Try Chipotle times 10 speed in a different language.
Oh, look how cool this place is. I'm just so excited to have a banh mi here. Literally, there was a place right across the street from my job, and when I first got introduced to them, I started eating there at least once a week for like a month.
Yeah,
so
they actually put me on too.
Yeah, having banh mi in Vietnam, I'm excited.
Yeah, dream come true for sure. Let's cross. So, we're in Ho Chi Minh City, which is formerly known as Saigon, and still Saigon to the locals. You know, Vietnam, from what we see, comes in a variety of flavors and aesthetic differences, right? What I did not expect was for Ho Chi Minh City to look like this.
Bustling.
I mean, this almost feels like a Times Square or a Shinjuku or something like that.
Shibuya. Yeah.
Super cool. I mean, you know it's real when there's a Starbucks. And then right down this street here is where you get the famous banh mi's. So anyways, we're gonna go.
Something to drink.
Yeah, we're gonna find something to drink and then post up somewhere and let you know how this food is. That's a good sandwich. And it hits kind of different sitting on the side of the road in Vietnam, in Saigon.
It's good, babe?
Ah, very good.
Look at this big ass sandwich. And what it said, it has a pound or two? I don't even know how to come in.
It's about a pound of a sandwich. Yeah, there's about a pound of ingredients in here. Well, I don't have much banh mi experience in Vietnam to compare it to any other banh mi in Vietnam. Well, what I can say is, one, taste-wise, it's delicious. This thing is packed. Way more packed than any banh mi I've ever had in the States. And it feels like they're saying, like, yeah, we're known for the banh mi. We're the most popular here in Saigon.
Yeah.
Here's our damn sandwich. Bam. Almost like an over-the-top banh mi sandwich. Which, me being extremely hungry right now, I'm not complaining.
And they put green onions in it, which is my favorite. I'm starting with this. You already know. Give me a street corner. Give me all the motorcycles riding by. This is like my favorite thing.
And this is not the street corner that I imagine eating in Vietnam on, but that's always a good thing. You know, I love being surprised. I love having my mind shifted. You know, when I think of Vietnam, I think of plastic chairs on the side, which, believe me, we've seen plenty so far. But it actually is really refreshing and nice to sit in this brightly lit, very electronic, insane part of the road here. It'll really wake you up.
It's funny, the first time we had chili.
What pepper was that?
Hot.
Holy crap.
First time I've ever had a banh mi, I was super interested in the fact. You okay? I was super interested in the fact that it was made with French baguette because it's so unique and quintessential to French food, French cooking, French baguette. This is a million times better. Love having the pate in it. Love it, love it, love it.
Was it this bad boy?
Probably. Should I not eat them? Should I take mine out? I don't need a fancy restaurant. I love me some fine dining. I can do that. But this right here, this is my happy place.
This is definitely right up our alley. You know, we're big Bourdain fans, and you know, we really see him as a role model. I mean, we never saw him being this kind of role model to us, to where we were actually kind of following in his footsteps. But I bring him up because he's talked about Vietnam with so much love and so much passion. He said back in 2002, when he first stepped foot in Vietnam, he fell in love. You know, the craziness, the smell of it, he marveled at it. And I don't know if he influenced my first reaction, but I really did feel the same way. You know, the hustle and bustle of Saigon here, the craziness, the smell even, everything about it, it makes me smile. So yeah, if you guys are Bourdain fans, you probably know how he feels about Vietnam. So far, so good.
I mean, I won't speak for you. For me, he was the hero to me. I get emotional just talking about him because we wouldn't be here. I can tell you 100% we wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. And we wouldn't be here if we didn't have that influence. And yeah, we only knew him from the show. You know, we didn't know him as a person, but you felt like you did. And you felt like he just influenced the whole generation of travelers that you may not even know what kind of impact he had. And I'm just blessed and grateful that he even existed.
He was such a real, authentic, raw voice for the type of person that experiences a culture to its freaking roots through food, and using food as a way to break the ice into a conversation about a culture. And he did it so well, and he did it with so much authenticity that, you know, we love him for it, and I know millions of other people do too. And like Dr. said, we probably wouldn't even had this kind of formula of a vacation. Well, I wouldn't even call it a vacation. Formula of a journey if it wasn't for somebody like him.
Yeah, we wouldn't even know that we could do this, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes it, you know, a step further. Like, we hope we could be that for somebody, right? Like, we hope
in the slightest way.
Yeah, in the smallest way, right? Because I talked about before, you know, being a Latina and us, you know, coming from humble beginnings and our background, and people where we grew up didn't believe that you could do this. I mean, may not even still believe that you can do this. You know, that you can pick up your stuff and be like, I'm out, and travel and go and see the world and be in a corner in Vietnam eating a banh mi sandwich. Like, Bourdain taught us that. And if this can give you just a little bit of courage to do that yourself, I mean, then our job is done.
Pretty nice, huh? Every single spot here, you're gonna have a promoter or a security guy tapping you on the shoulder, asking you, or basically telling you to go into their establishment. Every single spot has done that so far. The place, I gotta admit, the place is electric. It looks like it's just one main street, which is good. Nice and contained, with plenty of places to have food and to have drinks. Definitely a party. Alright, so we found a place to kind of hunker down. It's an extremely exhilarating place, super stimulating. So we walked up and down a couple times to make sure we got the vibe right. There's a couple places that are absolutely nuts, but so are the prices. 4 to 5 times some other places. So we found a place that we felt like was a fair price for the location. We sat down, we got us some beers. First time drinking some by Saigon specials.
So at the far end of the street, you have tons of restaurants with all different types of food, seafood ball, all these like Vietnamese classics. And then even in the mix, you have these carts with banh mi, dried fish. There's promoters, club promoters, all up and down. We thought they didn't let any traffic through here, but they're letting some motorbikes here.
People are getting absolutely hammered here. It's only 12 o'clock. Yeah, until about 2 o'clock, and you can start to see the drinks settling in.
But you know what? We're gonna have some food, we're gonna have some drinks, and we're gonna get with it too.
We don't get out much, and I say that because we're kind of isolated, right? If you want to go on vacation to a different country, we always go to like the Caribbean, Mexico, things like that, you know, South America. Unfortunately, it's very expensive for us to get to even Europe, but past that, Asia. It's not as easy to get to as other places. So for us, we don't really hear too much about the ins and outs of Southeast Asia. And I gotta say, man, I am super that's what I'm surprised about, is that we've just been in Ho Chi Minh City. We've seen a little bit of quietness, and we've seen this absolute chaos of Bui Van Street. And we know that there's so much more quaint places like Hue, like Hoi An, and these different places. We don't even know what Hanoi is gonna give us. So it's super exciting. And to tie all that in, the food is absolutely delicious, which is really at the core of why we, what we love about travel so much and culture. So I hope you guys that are watching and have not been to Vietnam consider it, and the ones that have been to Vietnam, I hope you share that sentiment.
Absolutely. I hope when you see this, you say, oh, we're going to Vietnam. You can take a trip to Southeast Asia, come to Vietnam. It's pretty dope. With that,
Good morning, guys.
Hello, foodies and travelers.
What's up? So we are in Hoi An. This is our first official day here in Hoi An. The first impressions, super pretty. A lot different than where we flew into, which was Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. We want to take you guys along with us. We know there's some really cool things to see and do here in Hoi An. Very different type of culture, or vibe rather, than the rest of Vietnam, certainly the bigger cities. Well, it has a huge French influence and was a trade port for many years. I believe since the 15th century. And there's a really cool old Japanese bridge that was built by Japanese settlers here back in, I believe, the 16th century. So we do want to go check that out.
It's known for being a melting pot where you can see French colonial buildings, as we said, Japanese bridges. I think there may be even some Dutch influence and even some Chinese influence with like the wooden shop houses and things like that.
We decided to kind of stay a little bit outside of all the hoopla of Hoi An.
As usual.
As usual, which is always kind of our thing, We want to be close enough to get to it, but further enough to, to stay away from all the craziness if we want to, right? So yeah, let's see if we can find some food. Normally I say I'm the one who always wants coffee. This one has been on a coffee kick since she got pretty much to Vietnam.
So bad.
Since we pretty much left home. She's kind of given up on her tea game.
I haven't given up, I can't get what I really want.
Yeah, and the Vietnamese coffee is really good. Cafe Chua. We normally get Da, which is like an iced version of the Cafe Chua, which is the coffee with the condensed milk.
So like espresso with condensed milk.
Yeah.
Condensed milk. You have to look for it if you have Vietnamese restaurants by you. Amazing.
Yeah, it's delicious. So yeah, let's head over there now. Okay, so after we got some coffee, we did meet this really nice lady who was super helpful. But what she was doing, really, which it looks like there, many of them here in Hoi An do, is to try to get you to their shops, which is understandable. Speaking of the shops, so they're pretty much, I don't know if it's the entire town is like this, but certainly this street, it's nothing but tailor shops, custom-made clothing, all the way down the street here.
So she approached us and we went to her store. And thinking about it a little bit longer, I actually really would like to get something made for me just because I'm a curvier girl and, over here they don't exactly cater to us.
Yeah, so sometimes it is best to just get something custom made. But with that said, she did end up getting something. It's gonna take a couple hours for them to get like the first kind of draft of that outfit. For a good price. We ended up getting an outfit for about
$70.
how much? About $70, custom made outfit.
Yeah.
But on top of all that, they let us park our bikes in front of their store, which is really nice. It's about a 6-minute walk to the area that we wanted to go see here in Hoi An, here in the ancient town. So we're gonna go ahead and walk the rest, and we'll see you guys there.
And we gotta get something to eat.
Yes, and we're hungry. Let's see what we can find.
Paper plane to outer space. That's where I'll see your face and have you with me. It may seem dark, but you always light my spark in my heart since the start. Oh, 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 Paper planes were always made for you. I'll fly to space just to get to you. I just wanted to let you know. I'm so glad that I'll have you with me. With you I feel like I'm dreaming, but I'm awake, I'm not here sleeping. By my side you give good company. Left and right, I'll keep you safe. When I'm with you, I won't hesitate. Now you got me folding paper planes, so we can fly to outer space.
Buy one, get one. Thank you. This is a beautiful restaurant. So beautiful. So excited.
Thank you.
So we had to take a break because we're walking and we're getting a little bit hot with the sun on us, even though it does feel, fairly like cool outside.
Yeah, but the sun is beaming today.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
so
cloudy at all. So
we found a place that had buy one get one beer, the 35,000 dong, which is like $1 and some change.
yeah,
So we're ready for ice cold beer. We wanted some last night and we didn't get any, so let me go ahead and pour me some, then we can cheers.
3 things that you're gonna find here in Vietnam: beer, banh mi, and soup.
And coffee.
Oh, I
Coffee,
take that
take it
back. Beer, soup, and banh mi's, and coffee. 4 things you're gonna find here in Vietnam. Well, cheers.
Cheers. For anybody who's a beer drinker, soperos like my dad. Honestly, I do see like Latin Americans loving Vietnam. I think this is a place, there's so much history and culture, but their food is just like rich and just comforting. Like it's comfort food in their way with the noodles and everything like that. It's really, really good. Everything we've had has been A1.
Definitely, I think comida de pobre, like we always talk about. There's a certain kind of a comfort that comes from that, right? And I think that transcends, more than just the cultural cuisine, right? So, her father, me and him are really close. He's somebody who grew up as a very young kid in Nicaragua, which is not the most developed country in the world, right? So there's a certain type of comfort food that you would grow up eating in a place like Nicaragua. And I think that you see a lot of those similar techniques in cooking food in places in Southeast Asia, at least the ones that we've been to. And Vietnam is no exception. So I always tell her all the time that her father would love it here, and other people that grew up with a certain lifestyle would love a place like this because there's no frills, You take a place like France, right? Where the cuisine has been so elevated to become this thing that's very sophisticated, very complex, which we also love. But that is harder to translate to some people than just giving me some, a nice bowl of soup or something that is easily explained, that just tastes good and is very simple. So, that kind of comida de pobre or, poor people's food is kind of a love language in between, different cultures that grew up with a certain way.
Yeah. And when we say that, it's never an insult.
Never, no.
It's literally like, that's what I look for because that's what makes me feel good inside. Like,
yeah, totally.
And I love cultures that surround themselves around food, and you can tell that here. In any place that we go to, if you go in the middle of the day, around lunchtime, you see everyone eating together. And I love that because they work, right? Whether it's families that they're working together or not, they all take that break and they eat something together. And I just love that.
Yeah, Vietnam is very much a culture that eats out a lot, and that's
More than they
breakfast.
cook at home.
That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that really shows in the pricing too. I mean, it's not only cheap for us coming from a more Western world, but it's also cheap for them too, and it's just built into the culture. Food is not expensive here. Period.
And people work a lot sometimes, so it's like, all right, let's just go eat out, grab something really quick. There's such a street food scene, which is just wonderful, like not only in the tourist areas, but in the local areas as well. It's such a part of the culture.
And as far as like commercial chains, I haven't seen much. I
Starbucks.
saw 2 Starbucks since we've been here. One in kind of the main Times Square portion of Saigon, of Ho Chi Minh City. And then one over here in Hoi An. And man, if you come over here to Vietnam and you're in a place like Starbucks, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. Especially in a place like Vietnam that has some delicious, delicious coffee. So shame on you. And no diss to Starbucks. I like Starbucks more than just as much as the next girl with Ugg boots on. But yeah, this is not a place to drink Starbucks.
We've drank plenty of Starbucks in our travels, because we do love Starbucks.
Yeah.
But we can't come to a place that is known for coffee and not have the local coffee.
Correct. So for people that are watching that are interested in coming to Vietnam, what can you say to them as far as like what you found so far that you like about Vietnam, and probably more importantly, what don't you like about Vietnam?
I don't know that I found anything yet that I don't like, because we've only been here a week. I don't like to pass judgment. And I haven't experienced anything that has been like a faux pas, What I do like, I don't know what it was. And literally, as soon as we got off the plane, we were like, it felt like we're coming home. Not home U.S., but a homey place.
It was a comforting feeling.
Immediately, and I don't know what that was. I know you felt it too. Maybe we just know about their food, and that makes us feel more connected to it, but I was just very excited to be here. And so what I love so far is what we just said. I love how much their culture is surrounded by food.
Yeah.
Or surrounds food.
Yeah.
That to me is very homely, it's very family. Every place you see, every business you see is a family business. In somebody's house or backyard or front yard, or just the sister works with the sister and the mother and they have the tailoring business, something like that. Like, it feels very family oriented. Even seeing the young families, I love seeing the young families like our age, like with their kids and their family of 4 or 5 on one scooter. And like, we've seen that in other countries, sure. I don't know, there's an essence. And what I also noticed and what I've read online is that Vietnam is the country in Southeast Asia that is like booming economically. Like, it has had the most growth. I think it said something like it has moved up their GDP like 6% every year or something like that.
Wow.
Like, it is a booming country, and of course their social views are a little bit different than ours.
Or are they? I mean, that's the most interesting part. Obviously, we don't want to get political on this channel. That's not really our goal.
We don't, and we don't. I don't want to talk about something we don't know.
We're foodie travelers, but I mean, it is no secret this is a communist country, and it's something that growing up as Americans is very foreign to us, to say the least. But I bring that up because what is that supposed to feel like?
Yes.
And I honestly, we've only been here a week. Like she said, I don't think you'll know a country in a week or a month or even a year. You got to be here really long term to really feel the ins and outs and the pros and the cons of a country, any country in the world.
It does feel more flexible than what I imagined a communist country to feel like, if that makes more sense. One thing, right, that we do know that exists is the telecommunication over here, for the phones, the cell lines, that's all owned by the Vietnamese government. We do know that.
Which actually worked out in our favor and everybody's favor.
Cheap.
Yeah, because they regulate it.
So it's very interesting, right?
I'm not going
We're not passing any judgment on it.
I'm not going to get political.
Correct.
On that front, but that's as far as I'll say, is that they regulate it, and and they keep the phone lines cheap. And I'm sure that translates to a lot of different types of businesses and industries and whatnot.
When I think of a place like Cuba and the way that their people are treated and starving, essentially, maybe that's just something we haven't seen yet, so I don't want to be ignorant and say that doesn't exist here, because I'm sure it does. But the way that I picture Cuba and how hard it is just to get basic food, we don't see that here, or at least not yet. Who knows? I can't speak on what's going right and what's going wrong politically, but there is something that's happening that's helping in their economical growth, which is a really, really good thing.
Yeah, and if this does make it into the video, you know, we don't want to speak out of turn. Certainly, this is not our country, so we don't want to offend
and we're not judging
or take sides or anything like that.
We're
However,
here.
In the comments, if we do have some people from Vietnam, and I mean that, from Vietnam, I really don't. Yeah, I really don't care too much about the opinions of people not from Vietnam in this subject. But if you are from Vietnam, in the comments below, I'd love to see a discussion had. I'd love to see maybe your input on that and some things that we've said, because at the end of the day, we're trying to learn, and we've had nothing but good experiences here. The people have been nothing but good to us. So yeah, so if you have something to say and you're from Vietnam and you can speak from a personal experience, you know, let it fly in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on a lighter note, the beer's really good. This was a nice little break from getting out of the sun, just to have a nice cold beer, sit down, have a conversation. There's a lot of conversations that we have that don't make it on camera, and it's just the type of dynamic that we have. We love to have deep philosophical conversations. I think it's kind of our secret sauce as a relationship, and hopefully that translates to the channel, so we can all kind of talk about these things. But yeah, so far, I mean, have you guys seen something that you like, that you don't like in the video about Vietnam, about us? Let us know. Now, if there's any travelers watching, you know, I really feel like if you take that leap to travel, certainly long term or even short term, right? You just want a vacation to a country you've never been to. I think by default, you are an inquisitive person. You are a curious person. You know, you want to learn about cultures. You want to be in a position where you might not feel comfortable, and you translate that into growth. So yeah, I mean, is that, to the travelers out there, what drives you to travel? You know, it goes back to our saying, you know, what will you travel for? You know, we'll travel for tacos is the slogan, but what will you travel for is really the message.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
You know what? Cheers to us. Cheers to us. Cheers to Will Travel for Tacos as a whole. What it can become, we don't even know yet, but it will become something. So.
Cheers.
You're all a part of it, so cheers to you too.
After our drinks, we continued exploring the ancient town. I couldn't help but to keep thinking back to what we were talking about. The ideas of completely different cultures, ideologies, places, and people that in many different circumstances I would have never crossed paths with. But here I am. Here we are, immersing ourselves into a foreign land that somehow managed to feel incredibly familiar.
Now, we just so happen to be in town for the famous Full Moon Lantern Festival, where everyone gathers by the Thu Bon River to light their lanterns and send their hopes and their dreams floating into the distance. The same hopes and dreams that we all have, no matter where we're from. Actually, it's kind of a poetic end to our night if you think about it, and another example as to what we will travel for.
You are shades of gray, living day to day. Even when we're free, it's true. The difference is the same. The colors always change, but the song is the same now. In June, lifting us higher.
So what does this symbolize for you?
I always pray for one thing: love, happiness, and success. Always. Whatever comes comes of that is what comes of that. And I'm good with that. You ready?
Yeah.
Careful, we gotta balance the boat.
For me, how can I put it? Wishing for peace, wishing for happiness, and wishing for the most prosperous times imaginable. That's what it means.
The world is filled with people doing the best they can, you know, who love their kids and, you know, would like to, you know, put on a clean shirt every morning and live their lives with a little dignity and have access to food and water, hope, just like everybody else.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, consider dropping a like below, subscribe to the channel to follow us more on our journey.
And to see our daily content, make sure you're following us at We'll Travel for Tacos on Instagram. Peace. See ya!